welcome. Thank you so much. I can't believe that it's been 4 weeks since our last meeting. How is it even possible that it's been, it just, the time is just flying. So I want to thank you for coming out tonight. We have a great meeting planned for you. And we want to start off by thanking people that step up to help with this, like Mike. Ken Gardner, our videographer. In the back, we have Kathy Kubik. We have Marge. We just like Sue. We have Linda Sikowski. We so appreciate these people. Honestly, I couldn't do it without them, I'm telling you. So, I got a little test for you guys. You're going to figure out if you're a Democrat, are you a Republican, or are you a Southerner? So here's the test that's going to help you decide, and the answer can be found in the proposed following questions. If you were walking down a deserted street with your wife and 2 children, suddenly a man jumps out with a huge knife around the corner and locks his eyes on you and screams obscenities, raises the knife, and charges at you, but you're carrying a gun. You've got a little advantage. You're carrying a gun. You'd have mere seconds to decide what you're going to do to save your family. What would you do? Okay. So, Democrats' answer. Don't spoil it. A Democrat's answer is, does the man look poor or oppressed? Is he a terrorist or is he guilty of profiling? Have I ever done anything that would inspire him to attack me? Could we run away? What about the kids? Could I possibly swing the gun as a club and knock them out? What does the law say about this situation? Does the pistol have an appropriate safety built into it? Why am I carrying a loaded gun anyway? And what kind of message does this send to society and children? Is it possible he'd be happy with just killing me? Does he definitely want to kill me, or would he be content in just wounding me? Should I call 911? Why is this street so deserted? Can we make this a happier, healthier street by paying more taxes? Would that discourage this kind of behavior? I hope they haven't defunded the city's police department yet.
That's a Democrat.
The Republican answer?
Shoot.
Bang!
I guessed that. I never heard it.
Okay, but the Southerners' answer is bang, 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 bang. And the daughter says, "Nice going, Daddy." Whose Winchester silver tips did you use, or a hollow point? And can I shoot the next one? And his wife says, "You're not taking that to the taxidermy." Bad joke. Okay. I was really scrambling for jokes this time, I gotta tell you.
You did good. You did good.
Well, anyway.
That's okay.
Okay, so many of you, first off, can I have a show of hands? Are there any snowbirds here that are back? Anybody here that's been gone? Just one? That's pretty impressive. Okay. Because I think that, we have quite a few people, and I don't blame them. That's where I would be if I could. So last month, many of you, if you came, must remember that we had activist Ramon Jackson and Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. The men came to tell us about their work uncovering Detroiters and former Detroiters' election histories, and they talked about the time about their upcoming appearance in the Legislative House Integrity Committee on May 6th. And I just want to say, good job. There were enough of us there that we filled the room, the committee room, and had the spill over into the overflow room. And I think that was really important to them to see that support. So it was really nice. Several residents came from Detroit. And 6 of them, besides Ramon, testified to the fact that they never voted or they only voted in person, yet the QVF has them down as have voted. These are the people that moved out of state, say they never voted, they were never registered to vote, yet the QVF is showing them as have voted. Or one woman said that, no, I vote, but I always vote in person, and the QVF showed her as voting absentee. So in the conclusion, Ramon also talked about 16 Israeli citizens who were registered, their addresses were in Israel, but the QVF shows them as voting and being registered to the top of a donut shop in Detroit. Now, Ramon visited that donut shop, and the owner or the people there confirmed to him that there's not 16 Israelis living in the donut shop. So, and for those of you that might know a little bit more about this, they were not registered as Yokawa votes. They were just regular absentee voters. So he and Pastor Lorenzo pleaded with the committee to please do something about this, because they feel there are actually thousands of votes. And I don't know if you remember Ramon saying this, and the more you think about this, it's like, yeah, people in Detroit are not highly motivated to vote. They just don't. He says he knows many people, they're actually proud of not voting. So we have a big issue there. Hopefully, we really respect Rochelle Smith for holding these hearings. It's got to be very difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if she is being doxxed and, a lot of protests or whatever going on or surrounding her, because it's a very difficult job. So do we have that video that we can show of Pastor Lorenzo? I just want to show you this video that actually came out of that May 6th hearing.
We found a political murder in the street. This political murder is a serial killer. We see all the dead bodies. This one serial killer is the one who we can all handcuff today with your help. Who is that political murderer? His name is election fraud. He uses the weapon of people who were not elected by us, but selected. He uses this weapon of people that we never voted in, but they were cheated. They mismanage our resources, they misappropriate our funds, and they do it because they were never elected by us. We're asking you today, help handcuff this criminal and throw away the key. That's why we're here today. We're asking for your help.
By the way, we held this as a mini fundraiser for Pastor Lorenzo and Ramon for the effort that they're putting into this, and we were able to raise $2,500 for them. So, thank you all so much for seeing the importance of that and coming to this meeting and helping out. I'd like to give a brief update on the election recruitment effort, and I hope some of you here have seen the importance of this project and have filled out applications to work in Detroit, whether you're working at the TCF Center or you're working at the precincts. We're just trying to flush water through the system, so to speak, so that we know what we're getting hung up on and how we can make sure that we have enough workers. We're trying to reach parity at the polls in these Democrat-dominated areas. So already we've had Republicans that are being turned away. Now, just 5 weeks ago, we called Detroit because we're trying to work with them, and they're just like, well, why are you guys applying so early? Okay, so 3 weeks later, they're telling us that all the positions are filled. So, you know, it sets us up, we're collecting the evidence, it sets us up and puts us in a position where we can counter with legal challenges if need be. So that's why we're asking you, if this is something that you'd consider doing, please do it, because if we don't have people that will apply, the state law says they need to hire equal numbers if possible. So if they hire 1,000 people and we only have 25, it's not possible. Okay, so our next speaker is the founder and the chair of Michigan Fair Elections, which is a network of organization leaders and activists working together to build permanent election integrity infrastructure across Michigan. The goal is to provide ongoing citizen oversight, transparency, and accountability in our Michigan elections, which is a pretty lofty goal in this state. I first met Patrice Johnson about 3 years ago, and we had a natural connection because of our interest in free and fair elections. Patrice's organizations have stood strong for election integrity in Michigan, working with attorneys to go after such violations such as the illegal ERIC system, Electronic Registration Information Center, being used by Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson for the illegal sharing of voter information, and also going after the government's violation of equal protection by its teaming up with colleges and universities to promote student registration and voting on our campuses with organizations such as the All-In Democracy Challenge. Patrice is joining us tonight to discuss the importance of defeating ranked choice voting, another Democrat scheme to thwart the integrity of our elections. To defeat it, we must first understand it, or understand how complicated it is, which leads to the means of leaving voters in the dark. She's the author and has frequently written editorials for various publications. Her book, The Fall and Rise of Tyler Johnson, which I read, won the first place in the National Indie Excellence Award for New Nonfiction. And PBS nationally syndicated a documentary film based on her book. During her 16-year stint in the computer industry, she founded 4 technology companies, one of which went public on the NASDAQ. She graduated summa cum laude from Alma College and holds a master's degree in English Lit from MSU. She and her husband live in Stockbridge Township and will celebrate their 50th anniversary on Sunday. 51? Oh. So we congratulate you and Jim. So please give a warm welcome to Patrice Johnson.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, it's nice to see so many familiar faces here. I could talk about a lot of things, but Marion asked me to talk about ranked choice voting, and one of the things that if you ask somebody about ranked choice voting, chances are they're going to say, "Well, I don't really understand ranked choice voting." Yeah. Well, there's a reason for that. People don't want you to understand it; they just want you to vote for it. So do I have a clicker here?
You do.
Is that this?
The side of it, you see the side? Feel on the side of the
Oh,
button.
No,
okay.
the side is
Down
volume.
button, the down button.
Down button
Yeah,
on the
go
top.
down.
Down arrow.
Oh, right on top. Okay. Am I there? Okay.
Try one of the 2 buttons. Oh, there you
Try
go.
it, Patrice.
All
Try
right.
it again.
It's on the side, not on the top.
Oh, there we are. Okay, it's the big button. Okay, thanks. All right, so ranked choice voting, in a nutshell, really. It is also called instant runoff. You may have heard that. But what it does overall is they have found in Alaska, for example, where it exists, is it decreases voter confidence. It slows counting and it delays outcomes, so it delays governance. It hinders recounts and audits. It also is particularly damaging to vulnerable voters, such as people in the military and people overseas, because if they mess up their ballot, they're not going to be able to fix it and change it, so it'll just be lost. So it also makes voting lines longer. Oh, here I go again.
Okay. Let me see the button again, okay? Okay, right here, that button right where my thumb is.
Okay.
Up and down.
All right. That's nice to be able to do that. All right. It makes voting lines longer. It causes real disenfranchisement. And when you disenfranchise voters, you are suppressing voters. The ultimate goal, and this is speculation, but I've heard it documented in quite a few places, is that it is to eliminate the political parties and to hand more control over to large donors. And we all know what large donors can be doing to our political system. So the marketing pitch that you'll hear from ranked choice voting advocates is that people are more disillusioned with the political process and political parties these days, and this is a solution so everybody can be happy. It will allow more candidates and more choices. It will allow candidates to win with a broad base and majority support. It incentivizes a kinder, more positive campaign with less hatred, less nasty things said about it. Nonpartisan is a word that is quite often used around it, and also that it saves money on runoffs. And it ensures every vote matters. So, oops, turn my page here. It also says that winning ensures candidates will have over 50% votes. In our current system, all you have to do is have the most votes and you win. This would require not just 50%, but 50% plus 1. So until you achieve that, you do not win. Okay? So because this is where it becomes very confusing. It's very rigged. So a volunteer, they claim it's a volunteer-led grassroots campaign. They also say that they're advocating for a simple upgrade in the way we vote. They say it will improve our democracy. They don't say anything about a constitutional republic, but they do say it will improve our democracy and strengthen our republic. Places that have RCV have found, they'll tell you what places have found, or they'll say, they will say that. So make elections kind again is kind of their motto. So,
Oh, they're cheaters and copycats.
so those who oppose ranked choice voting, which would include Michigan Fair Elections and me, and a lot of folks in this room, thankfully, is that it's too confusing for voters.
Stinks.
What do you want?
Oh, I clicked
Just like
too
this
far
one.
ahead. All right. It's too confusing for voters. It's too hard to implement. It allows rigged elections because you cannot audit them. Believe that. You cannot audit these things, and you cannot do it by hand either. You can't do a hand recount. So nothing can go wrong with that process, which is totally untransparent. It's our position would be this undemocratic and unconstitutional because some people get to vote more than other people. For example, if you vote for one candidate and that candidate doesn't win, your vote is not counted again. Whereas you vote for 5 candidates, you rank them, you would get a chance to vote 5 times. So
That's crazy.
so it's bad for the two-party system. Ranked choice voting proponents are told not to get into the basics of ranked choice voting. It will bog down the topic. So they will try to steer you back to the kinder, gentler topic. And when you meet opposition, what they're told to do is blunt the attacks. In other words, somehow stop the criticism of it. So, a tagline for ranked choice voting it could be rigged choice voting, as you've probably heard people refer to it. Now, a lot of people want to know, what is the state of ranked choice voting? And that's a very good question, because ranked choice voting is used in federal and state elections in only 2 states. And those states are Alaska and Maine. Hawaii uses ranked choice voting in certain statewide elections. It's also used, or it's scheduled to be used in some localities, and Michigan has 5. 14 states contain localities that either use or are scheduled to begin using ranked choice voting. According to Ballotpedia, there are 14 states who have already adopted laws banning and prohibiting ranked choice voting. I've also heard the actual count might be 16, but this is the number I had as of April. And then no laws addressing ranked choice voting. That's 22 states do not have laws addressing ranked choice voting. Swing states like Michigan are particularly vulnerable. So, if you look at this map shows you where there are no state, I'm in the way here, aren't I? There are no state laws addressing ranked choice voting. The green is where it is statewide. Those 2 lone states, Maine and Alaska there. And then you've got ranked choice voting is scheduled for use in the blue states here. And then you have the ranked choice voting where it's prohibited. So this is this is the current status of the ranked choice voting movement. So, and I mentioned Michigan has 5 jurisdictions. Kalamazoo, which has a population of 260,000, sorry. Ann Arbor, population 124,000. Royal Oak, East Lansing, and Ferndale. Now, I'm not sure if I believe it's been stopped because it's not legal in Michigan. So that's why the movement to have a ballot initiative. It was passed at the jurisdictional level, but is unlawful in Michigan. So 2 ranked choice voting bills have been introduced into our legislature, and none of them were able to be passed. So when you ask somebody, why are you going for a ballot initiative, they may tell you it's because we tried to go through the legislature and we can't. So just think about that. If our legislature doesn't want to make it a law and change the way we vote, maybe we shouldn't be doing that by ballot petition. So start as a Rank My Vote is the organization leading the charge on this.
I just changed it. I changed it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And they're a startup organization, supposedly, and their proposal has not completed yet, they say. For example, we actually had scheduled attorneys to come in from Minnesota to to pick apart their 100-word summary for it to go on the ballot at the Board of State Canvassers. And they will not be in May. They did not get their petition in fast enough to be on the agenda. But they are planning to come back in June. So there are 10, they're still looking for monetary help, and they're still looking for attorneys and volunteers, which is interesting because in Alaska, the people who crammed it through in Alaska are here in Michigan. And the person who led the redistricting charge that got Michigan to do the Independent Redistricting Commission, she is leading the charge with ranked choice voting. So they're making a serious, full-on effort at this that we should not underestimate. And they're doing Zoom calls, in-person phone banking activities. They plan to have an RCV club on every college campus. And they're prepping for opposition and possible litigation from conservatives. So, Rank My Vote heat map here shows you the areas where you see the ranked choice movement. The people are gathering most. That's Detroit Metro Wayne area, Oakland and Macomb. You have Washtenaw, Lansing area, Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids to a smaller effect, and then a small faction up in Traverse City. But they are very vocal. So RCV isn't the answer. If you believe in one person, one vote, this runs contrary to it. Because as I explained, if you vote, if there are it encourages a lot of people to go on the ticket for an office. So I mean, you might have 15 people running for your village president position. So you'd have to rank all 15 of those people. And then if if nobody got the first round, they throw out the people that got the least, and then they count them again and see where the ballots that got thrown out, they will check to see what was their second choice. I'll show you a mock election here at the end, so because it doesn't make sense to try to explain it because it doesn't make sense. But if you only voted for one candidate, your vote would be gone after the first round, unless your candidate got 50.1%. So the longer lines of the ballot box is also a really bad thing, because we all know that if you mail-in balloting is much more vulnerable to fraud and abuse. In-person voting is the way people need to go, and if it becomes so inconvenient, they won't. Which could be an objective, who knows, one of them. So the cost of the machine upgrade is very costly. Recounts are very expensive, and you can't do them by hand. You have to have machines count them. So how do you check the machines? Who checks the machines? So it diminishes confidence in voting, and what they found in Alaska is that the rate of voting is declining precipitously because of the ranked choice voting. So you'd have to call it voter suppression. And the results may take longer. Some places are taking 2 weeks to get an answer, or more. And UOCAVA, which is the overseas voter, and absentee are hindered because when they make mistakes, they can't correct their ballots. So our plan moving forward is to attend community events, speaking engagement opportunities, engaging the youth. Youth, by the way, has been spoon-fed this quite a bit. You'll find most college kids are in favor of ranked choice voting. And why they would even be thinking about it tells you that they've been propagandized, I believe. So we've been speaking with senior citizen churches, talking with neighbors, talking with 2026 candidates. We have a resolution that we've created for all the counties to adopt, and we have a letter for the clerks to sign to say, this is crazy, we don't want ranked choice voting, we can't manage it. So the key takeaways of ranked choice voting are that it is a scheme to disconnect elections from the issues and allow candidates with marginal voter support to win. It's great, for example, if I guess you could think about it, do you want to settle for your second and third choice? Because that's what it would be. And then do you want to study who your second and third choice would be? Another takeaway is that ranked choice voting obscures true debates, and it stops issue-driven dialogues among candidates, and it eliminates genuine binary choices between two top-tier candidates. And the fourth takeaway is that it disenfranchises voters, because ballots that do not include the two ultimate finalists are cast aside to manufacture a false majority for a winner. Okay, so ranked choice voting is called rigged choice voting. I would recommend using that term. It resonates, it makes sense. And I also would like to show you a video we made. This is our director of field operations, and she created a mock election. And if you want to run it at 1.25, you go a little faster.
Okay. Oh.
Okay?
So we don't need the last one there, right?
No, you don't need this one.
Okay.
Back up. Yep.
Okay, hi everyone. I just wanted to demonstrate how a mock ranked choice voting election could work so that you can simulate and demonstrate what happens in a ranked choice voting election at your chapter launch party. So I've printed out 10 ballots. As you can see, the candidates are blue, purple, green, and red, and I'm going to show you how going through the ballots, you can tally up who the winner is of the race, the winner, using the ranked choice voting method. So we'll start with just looking at the first choice column and putting a tally next to each candidate based on first choice. So on this ballot, the first choice is red. On this ballot, the first choice is blue. This one's red. This one's green. This one's red. This one's blue. This one's green. This one's blue. This one's purple. And I think that should be, nope, one more, blue. Okay, so we have here 10 total votes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 total votes were cast. But as you can see, no one has reached a 50% or greater threshold. So even if blue had 5 votes, it still would not win because it did not cross the 50% threshold. You have to have 50 plus 1. So we're gonna look at this and go, okay, the bottom loser is getting eliminated. Now we go into round 2 of voting. So we need to identify the person whose ballot was marked purple as number 1. Okay, so we'll go back. Now you have to shuffle back through. And here's purple as number 1. Their number 2 choice was red. Okay, so we've just retallied the votes. We've gone through round 2. We now have a tie, and still no one has cracked 50 plus 1%. So as you'll notice, we had a clear winner in the first round, which was blue, but now blue and red are tied. So we eliminate green because green is the bottom choice, and we have to identify the 2 ballots who picked green as first. So now I have to shuffle back through and find the ballots who had green as their first choice and retally whatever their second choice was. So here's green. Somebody voted green and then they put red as their second choice. So we'll take this one and we'll move it here. So now red has 5, but we gotta identify the other green vote. And the other person who voted green voted blue as their second choice. So once again, we have a tie. So now how do you possibly do this? Because you have a tie. Now this is a unique example of how things could go terribly, terribly wrong, and you literally cannot determine a winner based on how ranked choice voting works. This is where a judge would then have to decide. Otherwise, you would need to conduct a totally new election in order to determine a winner because nobody's cracked the 50% plus 1 mark. And I just want to add one last thing. Let's say both people who voted for green had red as their second choice. So let's say both of those, we'll start from scratch and say that that was actually allocated. So this second one actually was second choice red. So then this means red would crack the 50 plus 1%, and red would be declared the winner even though blue had actually gotten the most total first choice votes. So that's how a loser becomes a winner in a ranked choice voting race.
Saturday, May 17th is our annual trap shoot. We would love to have you join us. If you haven't signed up yet, please do so by Wednesday. We're going to be booking the slots for the fields.
What time does it start?
Well, we're going to email each person that's shooting with their start time so that you don't have to hang around. So the earliest check-in is 10:30 in the morning until we get through all of our shooters. We have about 55 shooters right now.
So I have another event to go to from 12 to 2 downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Could I, what is
You
the
could
link?
shoot at 11
Oh, in the morning.
in the morning. You'd be done in a half an hour. We can talk afterwards, Angelina. And one thing we have to remember is that all politics is local. We have a candidate shootout at high noon. We also have James Dixon coming to shoot with us, and he's going to actually be talking to us while we have our steak dinner. So if you didn't catch him at our last meeting, you can come to the trap shoot and hear him and ask questions. And he's been interviewing all the new politicians coming up that are going to be running for office next year, so he's got a lot of good insight. The other thing I want to remind everybody about is Tuesday, May 20th, we have the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement coming to our meeting. This will be held, it will not be at OCRP, so don't go there. It's going to be at 3270 West Big Beaver Road, which was next to the old Kmart headquarters. Okay? The Deputy Field Office Director, the Acting Deputy Special Agent in charge of ICE, and the Region Director of the ICE Office of Partnership and Engagement for victims of immigration crime will be there. They are nonpartisan. They will be answering questions and having a very thoughtful discussion to let us know what's happening in the Detroit metro area with U.S. Immigration and Customs, and we should get a lot of really good information. So please tell your conservative friends to join us. We have a good location, a lot of space available for those. Be prepared though, we will ask that there will be no phones during the meeting. There will be no photos taken, there will be no posts to social media afterwards. And if we don't know you, we will ask for your photo ID on check-in. Okay, thank you.
What was the date?
That one is May 20th,
And you can see,
yes.
Where's the track sheet taking place at?
Oakland County Sportsman's Club.
Great, thanks so much, Deb. Great events. So, okay, I think that's about it for announcements, which is really surprising. Yes.
I have an interesting video to show how people are influenced